YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. In today's video, I'm talking about the must-own running backs in fantasy football this year. The running backs you should strongly consider drafting. I know I'll try to get a handful of these guys. We're going to go through each of them. I got quite a few of them and talk about why they're on here, and then kind of talk about the signs that are pointing in their favor on why they may get more carries than most people think. So some of them are pretty good sleepers as well. We will do a separate video on kind of the deep sleepers / steals of the draft for running backs, and a separate video on the receivers / tight ends that I think are must own. So this is the first of a couple videos on the way here. Right before we get started, we have new memberships available, exclusive content here. Pretty popular stuff on the right. The Patreon link at the top of the description. The stuff on the left, there's a link in the description as well. But the Patreon stuff, you can join our fantasy league, which there's only a few spots available. If it's kind of high demand, we can do another fantasy league or multiple more. Pick'ems league, and then private Discord chat. A lot of debates going on in there. We got a few of you in there already. It's pretty cool. I really enjoy that. So link in the description for that. Please check it out. It'd be much appreciated. And then if you subscribe, that'll also be much appreciated because we have a 40K goal by the end of this year. We will have full coverage in season, updated power rankings, recaps, score predictions, straight up picks with multiple members of the Goat House every single week, and plenty more. Check out that Twitter you see in the top right, link in the description. Click that like button. Be much appreciated. Let's get on with these running backs. That I think are must-own in my opinion. I'm definitely trying to draft some of these running backs. Let's just start with the obvious ones at the top. You know, in these videos, I kind of want to include the great ones if I think there are ones that separate themselves, and I think there's two of them. Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. Yeah, these are obvious, maybe too obvious for this video, but I want to talk about these guys because I think there is a difference between these two and some of the other top guys. Maybe other position groups, maybe it's pretty even whether you get the first receiver or the fourth receiver. Maybe there's not that much of a difference. I think there's a difference after these two running backs and the other running backs. Really, it's nothing you guys don't know or shouldn't know, but these guys bring that extra, pass catching game. The ability to be almost a receiver out of the backfield. We've seen McCaffrey line up in the slot, and the lack of receivers on the Panthers too makes him super important. Both these guys are going to continue to get better, so going into this year, they will be better than last season. And two guys that will really put their team on their backs, even when the other teams are expecting them to get the ball. They bring their unique way on the field in different ways. Like I said, receiving, running the ball, beating the opponents. So I really like these guys. I'm a big McCaffrey fan for this year. He was dominant last year, and it just looks like he's in crazy. He was already in crazy shape, but it looks like he's in more better shape there for this season. So I'm looking forward to both these guys. These are my top two running backs. If basically why they're on here is it because if I'm on the clock and one of these two guys is here, I'm for sure taking one. I don't care. I mean, this should be the top two picks in my opinion. But if somehow it'll happen somewhere, if you're sitting there at the fourth pick or something, one of these guys is there, you don't even hesitate. You take them. That's why they're on this list. So kind of the more interesting guys. Another one that's somewhat top tier as well, though. Not too much of a sleeper or anything. It's Joe Mixon. Another guy that brings a lot to the game. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, downfield. Plenty of wheel routes from him down the sideline. So... And, I don't know if they want to pass too much either because A.J. Green, and, everyone's going to pass. But A.J. Green's hurt, and then offensive line's pretty beat up. I think they can run block, but pass blocking might be an issue. So Mixon, who was super good last year, I think takes another step up as long as he's healthy. And I think he's a big-time running back. I think he should be possibly a first-round pick, which maybe people aren't talking about him there. So that's why he is on this video. So more into the sleeper types as we get along here. They get more and more, interesting as we go here. So the next one I want to talk about is going to be Damian Williams, who I love a lot. I ended up picking him up in my fantasy league at the end of last year. Another one that can catch the ball, but he is surprisingly very good running in between the tackles. And it's just, him being in this Chiefs offense. They like him a lot. There's a reason. I guess they moved on from Hunt and they didn't from Tyreek Hill. There could be because they know what they got in Damian Williams, and they got other running backs that can play too. But Damian Williams can be used in pretty much any situation. You can put him in the slot. He can run a route from the backfield. And again, he looks small and he's kind of speedy and shifty, but he can run in between the tackles. He can break tackles. He is big time for them. Fits their system perfectly. So it's definitely a guy I want on my team again since I had him last year. The next running back we'll talk about is Marlin Mack, another young running back that continues to improve. I like this guy when he's back at South Florida, because he's got the vision. The guys with the vision that can hit the hole, find it before it's even there, really. Those guys really don't disappear or don't really dip in production because I think that's the main thing. That's the main thing when I look for running backs. Look at running backs coming up. Can they find the hole and hit the hole? Marlon Mack can do that. He also can continue to get better like he did last year, gaining strength. We didn't really have a problem breaking tackles. Also, kind of upping his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And what I think the Colts want to do is run the ball more. That's another reason why I think he's an even safer pick. I already said he's a safer pick because he has the vision. He's not going to take a dip in production unless he gets hurt or for some reason the Colts like somebody else, which would be surprising. But I think they want to run the ball more. They want to. That's going to open up the pass game in different ways, which they really don't have a problem with that. But they kind of want to execute the run, going forward. And that's why we see them, trying to pick up these other running backs. Spencer Ware got hurt, but even getting Foreman. Some people might be a little scared of a guy like Mack because they're really trying to find that running back, and they got Foreman. But it doesn't scare me. It's just because they need extra guys because they want to run the ball more. That's the way I see it. No dip in production. There's only going to be, plus him getting better. So I do like Marlon Mack. I do like his potential to grow throughout the season as well. It goes for everybody as long as they stay healthy. I don't see any reason why he'll be hurt. So I do like Marlon Mack a lot. The next guy is going to be Josh Jacobs, a rookie. The rookies are always a little scary. Any rookies, you have big high hopes for them, and then all of a sudden they just don't work out. I've seen a lot of people really, really like Royce Freeman. I wasn't a fan of him in the pre-draft process, fantasy process, but a lot of people got screwed over at Royce Freeman. Stuff like that happens, but the Raiders are all in Josh Jacobs. And I keep mentioning, which is a big fantasy factor, can the guy catch the ball out of the backfield? And what Josh Jacobs is very underrated on is that. Natural hands, and he can run routes downfield. People look at him. He didn't get a whole bunch of reps at Alabama, and he's kind of that big running back that'll break tackles even though he can move in the backfield, can be shifty. People kind of assume he can't really run routes. He's not the best, with his hands, but he is. He can do that. He's very natural at that. And then, he'll run the heck out of the ball too. So I do trust the rookie Josh Jacobs. Definitely will be fun to watch this year. And who knows what goes on with the Antonio Brown situation. If Antonio Brown's not in there, they could actually look to run the ball a little more. I think that's a slight, bump in stock maybe if that happens. If he's there, he doesn't get any, bump down or anything. I do like Josh Jacobs, and it's mainly because he's an underrated pass catcher. The next running back I would like to talk about for must own, must draft is David Montgomery, and I'm feeling good about this one, and that is because what we've been talking about. Can they catch the ball in the backfield? Will they throw? Mainly, will they throw him the ball in the backfield? And that's what I was as soon as the Bears drafted him, I'm kind of like, all right, they're going to run him between the tackles. That's all he's going to be used for. And now I disagree with that. Nagy has shown us the preseason game in practice. They're trying to use Montgomery pretty much in every way. They will throw him the ball. I like Montgomery better than Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen, everything with the offense needs to be right. Everything needs to be going right. For him to be getting the ball, which he is a good running back. He's a great athlete. He's great at catching the ball in the backfield. I just feel a little safer at Montgomery. He's the total package compared to the rest of the running backs in the group. Mike Davis doesn't scare me whatsoever. I know he started the preseason game. I like David Montgomery. He's not just going to run the ball in between the tackles. He will do more. I'm feeling more and more confident about that. And he will be the Bears' lead back. So I do like Montgomery a lot now. And then the next running back, Austin Ekeler. Even if Melvin Gordon is signed by me recording this video at this time, Melvin Gordon's still holding out. So maybe you're listening to this a little later. But I still like Ekeler. He was dominant last year, even with Melvin Gordon, even more dominant when he was out. He can run the ball, but he can catch the ball. We're kind of back to that. He will be used. And, the Melvin Gordon situation is tricky because do they want to sign him long term? He is better than Ekeler and Justin Jackson, but is he a bigger difference maker? He is, but is he that much of a difference maker, I should say? Is he worth the long-term contract? I think the Chargers still are testing that out. That's the problem. They probably almost want to give him a 1 year, kind of give him a raise for this year, make it a 1-year deal. I mean, I don't know if he's definitely not going for that, though. I don't think he has a problem sitting out. So either way, I think Ekeler is a great pick. And definitely people shouldn't really be worried about, should be panicking when they're on the clock. Is Melvin Gordon going to come back? Because even if he does, I still think it's a good pick. I mean, it depends on the round. And again, we're kind of going in order here from the top down here on where I would kind of rank them. But these are the guys I really like. And then we got a few more for you guys, actually. Rashad Penny, who I'm feeling Rashad Penny. Last year, people kind of doubted him a little bit. And last year, the average person probably would say he didn't have a good year, which I would say is false. And the reason they would say that is because he was drafted too high. So automatically people want to label him a bust and a bad draft. And then Chris Carson led that team. He was very good. And the Seahawks had one of the best rushing attacks in football because of Russell Wilson and Chris Carson. So right with those two things, with a lot of doubt, mainly because of the pick, people just kind of write off Penny, but I'd say that's all false. He actually was pretty solid when they used him. They didn't use him a whole bunch, but he was pretty darn solid. And remember, they did have Mike Davis last year, who they liked. They don't have him anymore, and they've always liked to have multiple running backs that can play. But I really just see two top-notch guys that can play. It's Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. Chris Carson will continue to run the ball, but they will use Penny as that other running back to run the ball, but to catch the ball out of the backfield. And it's his second year. They are very high on him. They drafted him in the first round. It doesn't just die down just like that. So teams don't force guys when they don't work out, but they really do try them. If they have taken him with a first round pick, they almost force him, but it really isn't a force because he can play. He has a lot of potential still, so they will use him quite a bit. I think Chris Carson's production is definitely going to go down from last year because I think they'll use Penny a lot, not more than Chris Carson, but they'll use him a lot. So I'm really feeling him there for Seattle. Two more I got. A little more of sleepers here. Darryl Henderson, another rookie. It's a little risky because they do have Malcolm Brown. They do have John Kelly as well. But Todd Gurley, I think they'll save a little more. I know they'll limit a little more than last year. They wore him out in the regular season. He has arthritis in the knee, some other injuries going on last year. He pretty much had to sit in the playoff Super Bowl. You guys know what happened. So this year, they have a plan. It's obvious they have a plan. They are not going to give Gurley that many carries. He's going to lead the team, but I think Darryl Henderson, he was my number 2 running back in the draft, and there's a reason they drafted him in the second round. There is a reason. I know they have other running backs, so that's what makes it scary, but kind of the thing I'm figuring out here, the reason why it's a little safer now, I'm a little more relaxed, is you look at the backups. You look at Malcolm Brown, you look at Darryl Henderson. Really, there's 2 different running back positions. It really isn't a running back. That's how it'll show up on the depth chart. That's how everyone talks about. But there's 2 different positions here, and one is just your traditional running back, and that's Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley can do it all. He can catch the ball. But that's your running back. Who is Todd Gurley's backup? It's Malcolm Brown. So that kind of makes you a little scared of Darryl Henderson. But Darryl Henderson's that kind of do-it-all guy, that guy that has the speed, that has the home run. He's a home run hitter, can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's the main thing. That's kind of that other running back. So if Todd Gurley say he's not playing a game, Malcolm Brown's going to kind of take those runs in between the tackles, but Darryl Henderson will take those runs, but it will also be the one catching the ball out of the backfield. So if Todd Gurley is playing, which we think he will be every week, it's pretty much Todd Gurley and the guy who can catch and be the home run hitter, and Henderson. So I think those 2 guys will get the most carries on the team, most reps, I should say, on the team. So that's why I'm feeling a little more comfortable about Darryl Henderson. And then my last one here, we're going to see a repeat team. We already saw this team in this video, and it's the Chiefs running back Carlos Hyde. People forgot Carlos Hyde could play. He can play. He's a very hard runner. I guess he's pretty underrated catching the ball, you could say, but they'll use Damian Williams for that. Damian Williams actually has been shaken up a little bit in preseason. It obviously doesn't scare me. I have him on this list, but they will use Carlos Hyde short yard situation and in the red zone, which is key. He's a pretty darn good running back. The Jags got something weird going on over there. Hyde will, and the Chiefs have a very good system. Pretty much anybody will work in the system here. Hyde will be good. He'll get his touchdowns. He'll get his carries. Even if they're splitting 50-50 or even if it's 75-25, there'll be good numbers for whoever the other running back is. That's why I like both Damian Williams and Carlos Hyde. You can almost play them both on your lineup at the same time. That's how I'm feeling about it. He is last on this list, so it's not as crazy of a must-have in my opinion, but he made the list. I don't just put anybody on this list. These are the guys I'm really feeling, and I've had success with it in the past. So I really like the Chiefs system, their offense, and I like these running backs. People forget Carlos Hyde can play. So let me know your guys' thoughts on these running backs. We will do a steals video, too, more of the deep sleep. Some of these guys are sleepers and steals, but depending on where you get them. But I'm going to kind of go a little more deeper, that next step for the running backs, and we'll also do a receiver/tight end videos that you should draft, must own receiver/tight ends. So hopefully you can join us for that. Hopefully you can subscribe and join us for the regular season because we'll have full coverage. Appreciate everyone's support. Thanks for watching this video. Goodbye.